you saw the couple of SWAT guys or the hostage rescue team guys. They're up on the stage in 2 seconds and they're scanning immediately. They're scanning all the time. Right. So they've got that section around. One of my friends brought up, will they ever sit anybody behind the stage ever again? What was the contingency in place for them to talk more about that? I don't know. Again, I'm not sure. I wasn't in the meetings, but damn, I mean, there's got to be where there's a briefing, if it's local, if it's state, who's ever handling that area. And there's always a liaison from federal law enforcement back there that's saying, okay, I want to quarterback this. Right? I want to quarterback this. So why did that not get relayed to the people that were in touch with the sniper or with the spotter, more importantly, or whatever they had up in the air? I have to imagine they had some type of support in the air. It's a pretty controversial presidential campaign. That one way everyone is, but this guy is really drawn to, I think, more threats than anybody else has had in a long time. So why do we not have all these things in place? My opinion sometimes, Julian, is that we have so much going on. They're moving and shaking. They're all over the place all the time that we fall short on the advance party. I can tell you from my experience, what brought RFK to us, what brought people who were concerned about RFK to us, was that he didn't even know this, but some of the people on his security team were allowing venues to do the advance. So, we're just doing a little bit of a meeting, a gathering in a hotel room in Manhattan, or a ballroom in Manhattan. So we'll just rely on the security from the hotel to give us where potentially there's some risk. That's a mistake, because we don't have a lot. We're trying to save money in the campaign. We're trying not to. What's the last thing? I know you laugh at my Lipitor comments, but what's the? Oh my God, I can't believe I did that. But anyway,
Lipitor 2024.
I'm ready. But if you think about what's always last is, and what always saves money is, we don't need gates and guards. We don't need an advance team until some shit happens, right? And in this case, shit happened, and I don't think there was a contingency plan behind the wall, for lack of a better term. They do look at it from a distance, right? Okay, the shooter's got to be a marksman or a sharpshooter. He's got to be, he's got to be able to hit something within 1,200 feet or whatever it looks like. It doesn't matter. It's still the high ground. You have to get someone there on the high ground. You have to know this is the only spot somebody can hit this guy from if he's in this particular spot. If he's up here, it can't be a lot of spots. It can't be. They got everything within the small area squared up. Right. I mean, I hear people giving up some of the, some of the secrets. I mean, basically have anywhere you see banners, it's a bulletproof steel wall. Right. So that's why you see the president get pushed down right away. That's why get him behind that.
Right.
Immediately. So if there is a threat in front or around, that is immediately covered. But, I mean, I just, it boggles my mind that somebody got a shot. Or got 7 shots or whatever the hell he got off.
Yeah,
and killed other people.
Like I was telling you, the active Secret Service agent that I talked with yesterday had some real thoughts about that, and his line was like, "The minute a bullet flew, it was a failure." And once that happens, you do have to react to it, though, right?
Absolutely.
And now you can't change the fact that that's happened, but your job is to get shit taken care of. And when you look at what they did at first. To me, you look at the dog pile that happens on top of them, that all looked pretty clean, right?
Very clean.
They're completely covering him.
Great job getting to him. Less than 3 seconds.
Yeah.
They're on him. That's enormous.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So they have him down, and I think it was a period of about 60, 65 seconds. They're down there with him, and then they say, okay, shoot her down. You hear them say through the mic, we can hear the confirmation, but it's like, shoot her down, and suddenly they're like, okay, we can get up. Where are we going? All right, we're going to move him to the cruiser. But when they bring him up, the guy is 6'3", 235 pounds.
Well,
it's a bit. What do you mean? Well,
235. Come
on. So he's a big dude.
He's a big boy.
I understand that, not all secret service. I keep wanting to call him secret security.
No, I got you.
But all the Secret Service people are not necessarily 6'3", but they keep him there. They stand him up, and essentially it was like a slow pack movement, and the only thing you would see is like a little hand coming up like over his face, almost like a fly swatter. And I'm thinking to myself, if you got a sniper somewhere, or even if you have someone right down below, in the
You don't know what's what at that
Yeah,
point. You have no
exactly.
idea who's who or what's going on. You know that the shooter, the proposed or the alleged shooter, is down, right? So you know he's no longer a threat, but you don't know what else is around. So it's more. I think we were talking about this before. It's more of a get him the fuck out of there as quickly as get him off the X as quick as you can. It's what Bustamante I talk about all the time. Getting people off the X in their business, in their life, whatever they're doing, right? So in this instance, it's got to be. I understand the staying down until they get the all clear. I get that, right? Staying on top of them. I thought they did a really good job there. And again, Monday morning quarterbacking is easy, right? I could sit here and say, I would have done. I don't know. I think I probably would have done exactly what they did initially, right? Then we've got to get him off the X. We've got to get him off the X. We can't be running around trying to holster our weapons. We can't be running around fixing this or allowing him. We were laughing because he was like, hey, I need to get my shoes. I'd be like, you could fire me later, but you ain't getting your fucking shoes. You know what I mean? We got to go. And we got to get you in this vehicle and the hell out of there, right? I loved whoever, I don't know if it was service uniform guys or it was actually like SWAT team, like Pennsylvania State Police, who I would think they're a really well-trained, good team. When you saw the couple of SWAT guys or the hostage rescue team guys, they're up on the stage in 2 seconds and they're scanning immediately. They're scanning all the time. Yeah. Right. So they've got that section around. One of my friends brought up, will they ever sit anybody behind the stage ever again? I mean, I'm not laughing, but I don't think so. And I think that's something that's got to go away. If you have that's another thing. How does vulnerability assessment, risk assessment outdoor? I'm not talking, this isn't an indoor venue where you've got an arena and okay, these are the only places. We've got the magnetometers, we've got people, we've got facial recognition inside. Outdoors, any outdoor venue, I don't think should ever have anybody sitting behind the stage ever again. I mean, my dad was a fireman, as you guys know. My heart goes out to this guy, 50 years old, a fireman, a service-oriented guy. His 2 daughters. I mean, he's lost to them. That's it. That's a tragedy. That's a heroic guy.
So to be clear, you're talking about the entire thing. When you say behind the stage, you're talking about all the bleachers and all that.
Yes.
Because there's there's the photographer's pen in front of him.
Yes.
But then there's a pen right behind him in between where the bleachers are.
Correct.
And what was a little strange, I mean, I don't know if it was strange. It just happened to be like, if you see the video right from behind, like right before the shots happened in the 1 minute leading up to it, there were agents telling some people in the pen to clear that part of the pen. And I'm like, why are they even there in the first place? Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like right on top of them.
Yeah, I don't understand that for an outdoor venue. I just don't get it. And I've seen it happen before. I mean, the one they just had in Wildwood Crest, and then they've had another one down in Cape May or wherever the hell it was a couple of years ago for him. It's just a much more vulnerable event. And we need to do a better job. We need to send more people. Now, let's talk a little bit about the process of getting more, right? Getting more. I can tell you, government, the bureaucracy, the red tape, it's horrific, right? I'd always ask for as much as I thought was possible and get 1/10 of what I asked for. And I was thinking I was being more conservative. Hey, I need 60 agents to do this takedown. Right. And all said and done, I'd be like, man, I really need 100, but I'll ask for 60 and I know they'll give it to me. 12 agents later, we're out rocking and rolling. You know what I mean? So if you think about that, I don't know what the current president gets, but I got a couple buddies that are right on top of him now. And I think about that. Eventually, we're going to have that conversation. But with your either former or your retired presidents, I just don't think you're going to get that juice. Most of those people, I shouldn't say this. I don't know, but I'm thinking a lot of those people. It's kind of a bonus. It's kind of a thank you to the older Secret Service. I'm thinking about it. Chris Morgan's dad. Chris is retired,
that's right.
So if you think about it, like. I think that's like, hey, thank you so much. You're going to go hang with, whoever in the Hamptons, or whatever,
or Jimmy
the
Carter
or Jimmy. You're going to be with Jimmy Carter for the next 5 years when he's in hospice, that kind of thing. But he's still asking for a hammer. He wants to build houses. But my thought is that's what you're kind of going to get there, and then I think you're going to get newer agents to the protection program, right? They all have to rotate back and do protection. They always do protection in the area. So if you're a New York agent, Secret Service agent, and someone comes to New York City, then you're going to be responsible for that protection. He's going to have the team with him too, but you're going to be the responsible person to advance all those things. But when you're in a former or a retired, it's a good place to learn those kinds of things. It's a good place to learn how to do a site survey, how to do a vulnerability and risk assessment, how to look at areas and communicate with locals to decide where they've found issues in that particular area, whether it be, are there threats? Are there groups? Is there social media posting? Is there chatter? Have we interviewed the people that have made threats? Have we done all of that? Right. And that's a great thing for a new agent to learn the area where they're at and to make, to learn how to do interviews.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. So the tactics are always, service has always been great with tactics, but man, it was a little shocking to see some of them fell apart a little bit. I thought Trump looked like a combat guy. He was right there, man. He was ready to rock and roll. Some people run towards the shots. Some people run away from the shots. Some people just stand there, right? I saw a lot of just standing there. I saw a lot of just standing there waiting. Same issue we've had school shootings. People show up and they're like, oh shit, I'm not going to go. Hey, you got to jump in. That's why they changed it. They changed school shootings from waiting on a team to go in to, if you're the first one there, guess what?
You're in.
It's time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I purposely delayed one time. There was a murder down in Atlantic City, figuring my people would get there first. Who do you think the first one there was? Yep, exactly. So it's just the way it works out. And I engaged immediately. I jumped in the fire. I'm not going to stand outside the fire. I saw some standing outside the fire after the fact. Thought they did a great job getting on him. I don't know what the communication was. I don't know if they heard all clear or we've got the shooter down. Whatever they heard, I get. But there's still a threat.
Well, there were two problems here though, too, even with that. Not necessarily the people who were jumping on him right on the scene with the Secret Service, but on the one hand, there was an officer who first encountered the shooter on the roof. So the officer went up that ladder that the shooter had accessed, and when he got up it, the shooter turned the gun towards him and he went back down the ladder. So
he slipped or something, right?
He retreated.
Slipped or retreated. Okay.
My first question is why are you not
engaged?
You're going up to see a shooter. Like, you should have your fucking
gun
gun
engage,
out, right? Like, you can do one hand on the ladder and have your gun out and take some cover. That's number one. Number two, and this has to be said, there were a lot of bad memes going on out there with some of the women who were by the stage. And, my whole thing with jobs like this, I was talking with Remy Adeleke on the phone about this morning, and he was livid about this stuff, is like, you got to get the best people to do it. You can't just hire a woman to have a woman there. Now, like, we've had Evie in here, and obviously, like,
amazing.
Evie's
amazing.
Awesome.
That's a square to, yep.
Evie's
in a
awesome.
foxhole all day, every day.
Absolutely. But like, you are counting on people who are going to be able to cover you, who are going to have to do serious physical things. And, I don't want to like sit here and rip these women to shreds who happen to be there. But like, I mean, it looked like a fucking Reno 911 episode.
Yeah. I mean, I look at it and I think there was a lot of that, not just the women. There was a lot of that, there was a little bit off there, but the thing is, man, this is kind of a slippery slope, right? So, I mean, you look at this director who's going to get questioned, right? You look at the focus of many federal agencies in the last 4 years have been this DEI, right? So it's really what it comes down to, the diversity. What is it? Diversity, equality,
and inclusion.
Yeah. So, I don't even know it. See that? So that's how my time was in the federal government and the Army. But you respect that. But at the same time, there needs to be a standard that allows to do those things. If I have to protect a 6'3", 235-pound guy, I've got to be able to handle that. He's he's 270.
He's lost some weight.
Okay, so he's all right.
DiOrio and Donald Trump have both lost some weight.
Okay, so he's 270. If he lost some weight, he's no longer 285. Yeah, we've gotten our act together here. But my thought is, you've got to be able to do those things, and you've got to be able to do those things if need be by yourself. If the team, if there's, I mean, look at Reagan, right? I mean, look at the Reagan attempted assassination.
Oh yeah,
that shit went bad like that. Right. And had it not been for his main guy who knew him like the back of his hand, checking under that shirt, he's dead.
Oh,
They
yeah.
they go back to the White House. He slow bleeds out overnight. That's it. It's over. Right. But that guy just knew something was up. He felt a little hole. He took him and did his thing. Same thing there. Like, you don't get as familiar. And I don't know how many of these agents were permanent fixtures on the Trump
That's a good question.
security deal, or if they were people that got tasked out from the Pittsburgh or from the Philadelphia, wherever that was closest to. Were they people that got tasked there, so you don't have time to practice with each other?
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.